Welcome to Cloudify Podcast, brought to you by Cloud Advisory. On this podcast, we talk about ways to grow, innovate, and automate your business using the Salesforce Customer Experience Platform. Without further ado, here is the next episode of Cloudify.
This is episode 9 of Cloudify, the podcast brought to you by cloudadvisory.io, a registered Salesforce partner. This is where we talk about how to grow, innovate, and automate your business using the Salesforce Customer Experience Platform. And today on episode 9, we talk about how to choose between Pardot and Marketing Cloud marketing automation applications. What we've outlined is essentially 7 steps to picking the right marketing automation platform for you. The first one being have a documented strategy. On a previous episode, we talked about creating your digital marketing strategy, which ideally is a subset of your overall digital strategy, but you can go ahead and create a digital marketing strategy, and we'll put links in the body of the page so that you can access that episode. The second step is to really implement a consistent content strategy. So it's fine to have an idea of how to acquire customers, but content is really going to be key, as we'll talk about. The third step is decide the level of initial and then long-term automation that you want. So perhaps you only want to use email marketing out of the gate, and then beyond that, maybe you want to create more one-to-one type journeys and customer buying experiences on a mass scale. Really depends upon the platform you buy, really depends upon what your strategy is in that area. Number 4 is know your lead number. Know how many leads you as marketing or marketing needs to generate, and then what the quality of those leads are, and then how those leads, depending on the type and the source of lead that are coming in, how those leads, the type of scored lead or the quality of the lead, how they convert. So you really need to know your numbers, and we'll talk about that a little bit more specifically and give you some ideas around that. 5 is decide on the channels that you want to communicate via. So are you just going to communicate and need marketing automation using email marketing? Are you going to use web marketing? Are you going to use some sort of paid marketing? So really know the channels where your ideal audience is and how you're going to communicate to them. 6 is set a budget. So what's your overall marketing budget, and approximately, what's your monthly spend and how you're going to divide that up. From there, we have kind of a very simple way to figure out what you should be spending then on just marketing automation, at least a range on its own. And then 7, of course, after you set your budget, is you want to compare the actual features against all this information. So what are the features of the platforms that you're looking at? In this case, we're just going to compare Pardot and the Salesforce Marketing Cloud. However, you could obviously apply this to HubSpot. You could apply it to Marketo or any other marketing automation platform that you're taking a look at. So the first step when you're choosing between marketing automation platforms, or before you even get to that point, is you want to have a documented strategy. So we really advocate you create a written digital marketing strategy, and we provide kind of a framework for that you can use or you can build your own. The key here is know your audience and where they hang out. What sort of channels are you going to access your audience via? Where do they look for information? And then the second part of the digital marketing strategy is to map their buying journey. Like what stages or steps or psychology do they go through in order to come to the point where they call you for help or they want to buy something from you, depending on what type of business you're in, of course. So by mapping their buying journey as part of that documented strategy, you're going to really have an idea of the type of technology you need to implement that strategy tactically. And typically a buying journey has really 3 kind of stages. Problem recognition, where they recognize they have a problem, where your buyer then researches solutions to that problem, or really the final parts where they're selecting options or a vendor or a product to go with. So what you need to do is, by understanding the psychology and the information that's needed at each of those stages for your given client, then you're going to have an idea of what features you need in the technology that you're going to choose, if that makes sense. And you're also going to have an understanding of what information is needed at each stage, so you can then create the appropriate content and tools, digital tools or what have you, for your ideal client to utilize at each of those stages. And that really dovetails into the second thing that you need to do, which is before you are comparing marketing automation platforms, you want to implement a content strategy. So you really should be manually, have someone that's responsible for creating different types of content. You really want to schedule this out, and this can be blog content, it can be ebooks, webinars, infographics, checklists. Once you have it scheduled out and you're consistently able to produce it, what you want to allocate is, for this type of content that I'm creating, or what content is needed each stage of the customer's buying journey, and then making sure that you're producing enough to advance to the next stage. So you want to think about the psychology and the choices and the questions that are being asked each of those stages. And then you want to know the desired outcome for each of those pieces of content. Do you want a call to action? Do you want them to consume another piece of content? Do you want them to think about another type of decision? So where they're going from, hey, they recognize there's a problem, to looking for a solution through content or other tools that you've created, to the point where maybe you want them to select a vendor, and particularly you as the vendor, or a product that you're offering. So you really want to think about those things and how each of the content pieces you're creating, what the call to action after they consume the content is. And then from there, you'll have an idea of what technology you need to promote, publish, deliver, or convert on the content that you're creating. So by having content created and knowing where it sits in the customer's buying journey, you'll have at least an idea of what type of technology you're going to need and what features again. So the third thing is you want to decide on the level of automation that you want. So initially we advocate, again, put your digital marketing strategy together, start producing content with each stage of the buying journey in mind. And then what you want to do is, once you see that you're getting conversion, you want to automate that. You want to make it so that that particular content is you're generating traffic, and then you're getting conversion for opt-in to a piece of content or a call to action. And then you can automate it. So sometimes that automation might be just email marketing on an outbound basis. So you've got prospects and lists of contacts, and you're emailing them, and you're trying to get some sort of opt-in, so they go from being a cold contact to someone that wants to continuously consume or communicate with you on a digital basis. Then do you want to be able to automate drip email campaigns where, based upon time or other actions on the behalf of those prospects, where now you're nurturing them through stages of their buying journey? Maybe you need landing pages. You need a way to quickly create landing pages so that if people are clicking on email messages or clicking on paid messages or ads, they're going somewhere in a contained environment, and you can get better conversion because you can quickly generate, test different landing pages or forums, right? So maybe you need landing pages with forums. Social marketing, do your customers use particular social platforms? Is it a B2B or a B2C customer? Where are they hanging out, and where are you most likely to interact with them? So maybe you need social marketing as part of your platform. Social listening, like maybe you need to monitor keywords and see whether people are talking about your company. Maybe you need to see if they're talking on particular topics that you want to be able to, communicate, chime in on social media. Maybe that's not even important to your business, depending on who you're selling to and what type of sale it is. A/B testing. Do you want to be able to test different email copies and see which one's more effective? Do you want to be able to test different landing pages and see which one is more effective? Web search. Do you want to be able to look for web traffic and map persona on your website? Do you want to be able to see what actions people are taking on your website and then adjust your tactics so that you're getting better opt-in or you're delivering more personalized content? Does that matter to you? Is that something that you're going to incorporate into the execution of your digital strategy? Paid search campaigns. Do you need a platform other than just going into Google AdWords? Do you need a platform like a marketing automation platform to be a part of that management of your paid campaigns? And maybe paid is paid search, or maybe it's paid display campaigns. E-commerce, do you need to actually be able to sell the product on your website, and do you need your marketing automation platform to be a part of the technology to allow you to sell and complete a transaction. Or maybe you're just having other types of calls to action where you're getting an opt-in and then someone's following up on content they're consuming, or maybe you're trying to get clicks to calls. So it's good to understand all those things in kind of the first stage, in the second stage, and then thinking about the level of automation you need, you'll understand the type of features and tools you'll need. Mobile marketing, so this can vary. You'll see SMS capabilities. So do you need to be able to send text messages instead of email messages to your clients? Do you need to be able to say multimedia messages? So being maybe video or coupons like images. And then geofencing is an interesting capability that some platforms have, including the Marketing Cloud, where maybe you have multiple locations and you want a mobile consumer, when they're physically within range of, say, a store or a restaurant or another location within your business, to receive communication. Maybe that's not important, but maybe it is, depending on the type of business you're in. And then reporting and analytics, and there's different degrees of this, obviously. So do you need predictive analytics? Do you just need to be able to create reports? And how do you manage it? So these are all things to think about, features that you want to kind of think ahead of time. What am I looking for in a platform? And maybe you don't know until you see it. But ideally, if you've got your digital marketing strategy planned out, you'll have at least an idea of what degree of automation you want and what features then, of course, you'll need to see, does my platform have it? Know your lead numbers. So this really boils down to what are you going to be expected to produce? And that's going to be important because of a couple things. But let's think, it's one thing for sales typically to have a quota and a number. So it depends on the type of business you're in. But let's say you're generating leads for a sales team. And the sales team has a quota. It goes to logic today that most marketing departments are going to have a lead quota that they're responsible for, and then a quality of different types of leads is going to be important. So a couple things that'll play into. One, you're going to want to know how many, let's say you're using cold email as an example, how many contacts are you going to have to make? So how big are the lists you're going to have to buy, and what can my platform handle, and is there an extra cost to that on the platform? And then you're going to want to understand things like, can I track clicks and read-throughs, because you're going to want to know what are my numbers, and you want to be able to set goals. Why this matters is really usually the number of contacts, or what you expect to get out of a campaign, because that's also going to help you set a budget. So by saying, listen, I need 1,000 emails sent every month because my assumptions are I need 30 reads or click-throughs per 1,000 emails sent. I'll need 5 opt-ins, and I'll get a 10% close rate from this group of opt-ins over 30 days. That means I'm probably going to close 6 sales for every 1,000 emails sent. Okay, great. That means if I need 60 sales in a year, I need a list size probably 10 times that, right? So I need 10,000 emails, and my platform needs to be able to handle those types of contacts. By doing that, you're going to understand when you're making a purchasing decision which platform, like maybe a platform has a contact limit, maybe it has email outbound limits. By kind of at least setting those benchmarks, then you can also know that does my platform have the ability for me to put in goals and measure the success of campaigns so they can measure against my objectives. So that's probably going to be really important to look at when you look at the features of what marketing automation platform you're going to choose. Some of the times you only know this by testing and keeping score, and this goes back to, okay, great, I have some assumptions. I'm going to manually test before I buy a marketing automation platform, and then at least set some benchmark numbers of what I can realistically expect and by the type of campaign. So an email marketing cold campaign versus a nurturing campaign versus maybe a paid click campaign versus a social campaign. They're all going to have different volumes, quality scores, rates of opt-in and close. So number 5 is you want to decide on the channels that you will use to communicate or get conversion from your customers. So this goes back again to understanding where your ideal customer hangs out, what they're in a particular social or other channel for. So maybe the channel is, if I'm sending direct emails to them, am I sending those to a corporate email versus a personal email? What do my lists look like, or what type of lists do I need to buy or build? Maybe the channel is your website, social networks, so any of your social platforms, like if I have a Facebook profile for the business, Am I going to interact with customers on Facebook or Twitter or both, or LinkedIn or YouTube or other social platforms? Paid search, am I going to interact through search engines or display advertising across different web properties, and then what type of properties? Will I need to incorporate that into any of my campaigns on the marketing automation platform that I'm using? Mobile, SMS, MMS, and geofencing, again, is this going to be important? Again, it's an interesting feature set that's sometimes an afterthought, but if you're a location-based business, it might be really important to start utilizing that, and it may not be. If you're a B2B company and you don't care and you're really not worried about the physical location of a customer relative to a location, it might not be that big of a deal. Webinars, do I need to interact with my customers using some sort of webinar? Do I need some sort of functionality or integration with the webinar platform with my marketing automation platform? So really important to decide which channels you're going to use when you implement a campaign or different campaigns as part of your digital marketing strategy. 6, there's a missing 6 here, I apologize, but 6 is then you want to set your budget. So once you kind of have an idea of what channels are the most important, where your customers hang out, you've kind of benchmarked by manually testing and seeing what types of campaigns you're going to run, you're going to set a monthly budget. And where this comes into play is 2 things. One, you want to know what I'm spending per month to acquire, to get traffic and then convert that traffic to try to hit my lead number. But then 2 is then you want to benchmark what your spend is on technology as a percentage or a portion of that monthly budget. So, let's say that you said, look, based upon my lead numbers, I'm going to spend $5,000 a month. One sale, the value of that customer, let's say, is $5,000. An acceptable cost of acquisition for that might be, let's say, 20%. It's $1,000. So that, I'm spending $1,000 to acquire a $5,000 customer through various activities. And I know that in order to meet my revenue goal of $250,000 a year, I need 50 new customers a year. So I'm going to space that out by having a monthly budget of $5,000. So it's basically, over the course of the year, my budget is $60,000 to acquire $250,000 in new customer revenue. Those are kind of my benchmarks. Well, then you go, okay, what's a reasonable cost of a marketing automation platform? And you've already decided what features and functionality you need. I think a realistic or a logical budget in my mind is 10 to 30% of your monthly budget. So in other words, if I'm spending $5,000 a month on paid or email marketing lists or paid display or a search campaign, I should probably, a good benchmark might be $500 to $1,500 a month for marketing automation technology. It really depends, and that's kind of a personal decision, but I think that's a good way to allocate it. So for example, let's say, I am spending $5,000 a month on paid and email marketing lists and, any other activity, and then I spend another $1,500 a month on my marketing automation software to automate that buying journey and try and scale it and manage all those different types of campaigns. That's probably pretty reasonable. And then I would just say, you're probably going to factor in that $1,500 a month on top of the 5 to figure out your true cost of acquisition per customer. So either that, that cost of acquisition of $1,000 per customer in this example might change, and you maybe just expect more leads out of it because you've automated. All right, so we've gone through all of these key features, we've gone through all these key benchmarks of things that you want to do before you decide which marketing automation platform is the right one for you. Now that you're armed with this information, you can look at the features of the 2 platforms or the 3 platforms that you're going to look at. And in this case, we're going to compare Pardot, the Salesforce Pardot platform versus the Marketing Cloud platform. And really quickly, you'll see that the price range varies, but then the feature sets. So it can get kind of complicated because each version of Pardot or each version of Marketing Cloud is a little bit different. We'll kind of talk about that. So Pardot, you can see, has really 3 price points: $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, or $3,000 a month. And the exact feature set varies. But if we look at it, basically, email marketing is kind of the core of Pardot. You are limited up to 10,000 contacts in each of those versions, and anything over that you're going to pay more. So again, going back to know your lead number, and you figure out how many raw email contacts you might need to be in your email marketing campaigns, it's going to be important to know Am I have to pay extra for more than that number of contacts? So if I know that I need 25,000 raw contacts in lists that I purchase, I'm going to spend some extra money somewhere in Pardot because they're capping me at 10,000 without extra charges. Drip campaign automation. So this goes to once you get opt-in, typically you want to nurture customers through the buying journey. So if you've indicated that, yes, this is something that I want to do, I want to have a bucket of customers that opt in for information, and I'm in an automated fashion stepping them through their buying journey, then drip campaign is going to be really important, and Pardot offers that capability. There are some variances between the different versions of the product, but you're going to want to compare those. Landing page creation. So I think one of the really excellent features of Pardot is that you can create landing pages within Pardot. You don't have to buy a separate platform like Unbounce. Now Unbounce is not that expensive, but again, I can build those inside of Pardot, and then I can, using like a WYSIWYG editor. Marketing Cloud, not so much. I believe you need to have an external product. I haven't seen that they have that capability inside of Marketing Cloud, but the Marketing Cloud is very different. Social listening. So if social listening where you're monitoring your business keywords or keywords of potential target customers on different social platforms like Facebook or Twitter, or I think LinkedIn would be in that, maybe Instagram. Well, you're not going to be able to have those types of capabilities with Pardot, so you have to decide how important that is. Whereas the Marketing Cloud would offer you the ability to add social listening to your campaigns. Social content. So some editions of Pardot, I believe it's the Pro and the Ultimate, offer the ability to publish and manage content on social platforms, so like Facebook and Twitter again. And the Marketing Cloud again, I'm saying yes here, but typically it's going to help you build your price the way Marketing Cloud's pricing is built. And you can check out the blog post on how Marketing Cloud is priced, and then there's also one on how Pardot is priced, but you'll see that in Marketing Cloud, it's very much a la carte. So you would decide, do I need social? Do I need search? Do I need paid marketing? Do I need mobile? And your pricing monthly would be built based upon each of those modules that you would add. Or at least that's one way that Marketing Cloud is priced out. Search marketing. If you're looking to manage your on-website visitor personas, creating one-to-one journeys, and that concept is really not part of the Pardot platform. You're going to graduate to Marketing Cloud. So what that allows you to do is really, you're going to track the activity and what content and what pages are being visited by visitors. You're going to lump them into personas, and then you're going to try and personalize their experience and create actions based upon what content they're consuming or pages they're viewing or products they're viewing on your website. So if you need this type of capability, then I don't think Pardot is really built around search marketing capabilities, but the Marketing Cloud does have that capability built in. Paid advertising, so this is like managing your Google AdWords campaigns, your LinkedIn campaigns, your Twitter campaigns, and then I think even display marketing. Pardot offers those in the Pro and the Ultimate versions, so the $2,000 and $3,000 a month versions. Marketing Cloud, again, there is a module, I believe it's $12.50 a month for paid advertising campaigns, and you can build your customized version of Marketing Cloud with that a la carte pricing added in. Mobile marketing, there really isn't mobile marketing capabilities in Pardot the way there is in Marketing Cloud. Marketing Cloud offers you that ability to build SMS messaging into your campaigns, or MMS, like multimedia picture messaging or video. Also geofencing. Those are really advanced mobile features that are not on the Pardot platform but are on the Marketing Cloud. So you have to decide if that's a channel that you're going to interact with and how important that is and what sort of conversion you can expect out of it. If you say, yeah, I need mobile marketing, then that pushes you out of Pardot into the Marketing Cloud. Content marketing, do you need to be able to schedule, manage posts, track and adjust and create triggers based upon what content is being consumed? Both Pardot and Marketing Cloud have some of these capabilities. However, Marketing Cloud is obviously much more advanced. Content marketing capabilities on Pardot are a little bit more limited than Marketing Cloud, but not useful, if that makes sense. You can actually, in the Pro and the Ultimate versions of Pardot, you also have the ability to schedule campaigns out. So there's a campaign calendar, and you can schedule out content in advance and publish, and you can create automations based upon how content is consumed. In Marketing Cloud, if you go down to Journey Builder, it's a really powerful workflow tool for marketers to actually create those types of experiences on another level, a much more advanced level. So you just have to decide the level of capability that you're going to need between those two. Tight integration with the Sales or the Service Cloud. So there's basic CRM integration with Pardot and Salesforce CRM, the Sales Cloud. Meaning, I can do, I think, really two things. One, I can pass through leads that are generated to the sales team in the Sales Cloud. Two, when I look at an account, I can see the Pardot activity inside of the account view of Salesforce. In the Marketing Cloud, it's a much deeper integration. So you're able to create marketing journeys beyond just lead generation with the Marketing Cloud. So for example, let's say you've already acquired a customer and you have the ability to generate support cases based upon actions and follow-up email campaigns based upon outcomes of, let's say, cases and trouble tickets inside of the Service Cloud. Or on the Salesforce side, although Pardot's interesting, it has that capability where you can provide content to salespeople that is curated by marketing, and you can give them email marketing capabilities with like canned or triggered messages and actions. So Pardot does have pretty interesting integration with the Sales Cloud through Salesforce Engage. So Engage campaigns, this is really sending Pardot marketing automation to the sales team and during the sales process, so after the point where leads are generated. So you can create real-time mobile Salesforce CRM generated marketing tools. Put the power of marketing curated content insights in the hands of sales reps. So even though it says actually tight integration with sales and service and it's only basic integration with Pardot, that's actually not true. That's probably a mistake, because if you get the Salesforce Engage campaigns, you actually have some interesting capabilities that you push from Pardot to the sales team through the Pardot marketing platform. Marketing Cloud is another level where you can automate the entire life cycle of the customer and communication with them based upon actions on websites, based on actions with the sales team, based on actions with that customer and the service team. So you can really use Marketing Cloud to another degree, but they both do have some interesting capabilities. A/B testing on the Pro and the Ultimate versions of Pardot. You can A/B test landing pages as well as email content. On the Marketing Cloud, there's a lot of A/B testing capabilities. On the Marketing Cloud, there are A/B testing capabilities also inside of email campaigns, but also across your entire web property. It's much more advanced capability and complex, but there are capabilities inside of them. You'd have to kind of evaluate what you need and what your plan is to implement, how complex your marketing automation program is going to be. Lead scoring. So both Pardot and the Marketing Cloud have lead scoring, so you can judge the quality of leads based upon the behaviors and actions of the customer or the prospect in this case. Journey Builder. So Pardot has different automation capabilities, but the Marketing Cloud Journey Builder is really a very powerful workflow-based visual tool that a non-technical marketing resource can use to build marketing automations. So it's pretty powerful, but there are a lot of capabilities inside of Pardot to create workflow rules, and that's actually pretty advanced as well. So it's not Journey Builder, but it's a different type of capability to create automations that, again, you would need a non-technical resource that could create those journeys inside of Pardot. And it's actually a very workflow-based, so it's actually quite good. It's different from Journey Builder, even though it says no under Journey Builder for Pardot. The reality is that they do have some excellent tools. It's just different. Customer focus. So really, I think the Pardot platform is great for small to mid-market. Mid-market to enterprise would be the focus of the Marketing Cloud. And again, it really comes back to what your overall digital marketing strategy is, what level of capabilities you need, and how you plan to implement that, and which one of these platforms would best serve you. Once you understand those things and you come to this sort of checklist, you can kind of go through and decide well, social listening is really important for me, so it pushes me into the Marketing Cloud. Search marketing is really important to me, and I don't have another tool set, so I'm going to want that module in the Marketing Cloud. So you can see where you can kind of come to a decision point. So the conclusion again, like Pardot is a very strong email marketing and automation platform. It also has the ability to have paid campaign options in different versions, the Pro and the Ultimate. I really like the landing page capability and the conversion of leads to Salesforce, as well as the Salesforce, the Pardot Engage campaigns. Those are really interesting capabilities. Excellent product for small to mid-market. The Marketing Cloud is very much creating one-to-one customer buying experiences on a mass scale. So if you're a mid to enterprise customer or a mid to enterprise size business, and particularly if you're a B2C, I think, type business, Marketing Cloud is the way to go because you're going to be able to scale up one-to-one customized journeys and create, especially if you're like an e-commerce business, Marketing Cloud is the way to go. Pardot, I can see where if you're more B2B or you're trying to get a click to call or other action, I think Pardot is great again for that size of customer where it's a small to mid-market company and maybe they're not trying to transact business digitally. They're trying to interact with their prospects digitally and then convert them into real world customers. Marketing Cloud, of course, can handle both scenarios very well, but definitely the B2C market, like if I'm like a grocery chain or I'm a restaurant chain or I'm a consumer goods product company, Marketing Cloud is super powerful with a lot of capabilities, and I can mass create those one-to-one customer buying experiences. So anything where I want to like create buying personas and match up the content or track the actions of web visitors and then get them to a decision point, Marketing Cloud is the way to go. Particularly multiple channels, there's a lot more capabilities within social and mobile in the Marketing Cloud as examples, and even the paid campaign management is going to be much more powerful in Marketing Cloud. Plus the deep integration with Service Cloud and Sales Cloud. So if your organization is really bought into the Salesforce platform, your sales teams are using Sales Cloud, your service teams are using Service Cloud, then the Marketing Cloud is going to be able to create lifetime interaction on an automated basis through their interaction with other organizations such as your service organization or your sales team. Whew, that was a lot, but hopefully that's a really useful idea of how you would make a choice of your marketing automation platform, and particularly how you would compare the Pardot platform to the Marketing Cloud. If you have any questions, please email us at ideas@cloudadvisory.io. We welcome those. Check out our next episode. I'm pretty excited about this. This is a review of Aaron Ross's follow-up to Predictable Revenue, which I think is like an excellent, a must-read before you purchase any sort of marketing automation platform or you implement a marketing automation or a digital marketing strategy, really. From impossible to inevitable, how hyper-growth companies create predictable revenue. This is the follow-up to Predictable Revenue, and check out episode 10 where we'll review the new book, and I highly recommend that you stay tuned for that episode. It's a must-read for sure. Thank you for joining us. Looking forward to your comments. If you have any questions or if you think that you would want any help with your particular scenario or advice, happy to talk to you. You can again email us at ideas@cloudadvisory.io. Look forward to seeing you on future episodes.
This has been an episode of Cloudify Podcast. Check out other episodes for interesting topics on how to grow, innovate, and automate your business using the Salesforce Customer Experience Platform.